Well, look at that. Looks like I'm live. Yes. See it over here too. All right.
I'm showing that you're live.
Okay. Yep, I see myself there too. Now the chat room.
Okay, I'm gonna comment.
Okay, thank you. Wait to comment yet. Chat room's still opening.
I commented.
Okay. So, thank you. Spinning, spinning, spinning. All right, chat is waiting for new messages. Shots.
See that?
I am not seeing that. Damn it. Maybe it takes a second.
Okay, I'll post something else. See that?
Oh, wait. I see Tyrone. Oh wait, no, there you are. There you are. Yeah, you do a little down arrow. A little fuck you. Oh, fuck you too. Okay. It did. Okay, I'm seeing people from Facebook and YouTube. All right. We're working. And hello, Ian. Hello, Tyrone. Hello, Marta.
Okay, so it's working.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, I see 3 of them now. That's just make sure.
Do you want to see 0 fonts?
Yeah, you got that? You got 0 fonts?
Yeah, I
This
got
is
it.
0 fonts. So,
Got it.
I don't know if the title got included. But welcome to Ask Uncle Birch. I don't know. The one thing I don't have is I can't see how many people. Wait, no, maybe that's it. Okay, maybe I can see how many people. So, I should be streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. You turn that down? It's confusing.
Oh, sorry.
On YouTube and on Facebook. I haven't done it as much on Facebook, but I do this little thing on YouTube, and I always get an audience right away. It's called Ask Uncle Birch, and I think we're up to 8 of those. All questions regarding magic, even if it's not traditions that I practice. I found I always have something to say. It's rare that there's a form of magic out there that I don't have something to say that I haven't at least heard of. But I do this. I'm here teaching frenzy right now. I have a year in a day class going on now. I'm getting ready for the next year in a day course in all things witchcraft to start on May 1st. And I get myself warmed up. I had about I think 2 years of not doing those classes. So I had a little bit of time off just to get ready for all of the random questions that students all over the world will ask. And doing it at a time when I don't have a whole lot of time to answer, I do it live like this and keeps me on my toes. And if you've ever been here before for an Ask Uncle Birch, you might know that I have way too much to say on everything when it comes to witchcraft, when it comes to magic. So here's how it works. You ask me a question. Please try not to send a question when I'm answering a question. It confuses me. It used to be that the questions would only appear for a few seconds, but I think this new format, questions will stay there longer. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you got a question about magic, fire on there. Let's see. Tyrone Jameson, what is stronger than open road oil? I've seen some stuff called Blockbuster. I think there's a powder and an oil. It's pretty common in hoodoo. I think that's a step beyond road opener. The thing with road opener, there's a lot of people out there making products called road opener. They're for removing obstacles, to clear your path. The important thing that some people seem to miss is that the spells tend to be called Abre Camino, which means road opener. And it's referring to a plant called Abre Camino, which really, if calling it road opener, be it an oil, a bath, I don't know, do people make sprays? I don't know. Powder, Abre Camino. You got to have the Abre Camino, or you're doing something else. Maybe you're removing obstacles or something more European, but when you say road opener, probably coming from Hoodoo or one of the various ATRs even do that. And there's Camdello. See, I got it working. How long are they? How long or what?
Aunt Shirley's watching.
Aunt Shirley's watching. Okay, well, see, that's the thing on Facebook. I've been fortunate to be able to craft a social media life around me where witchcraft is the norm. Everybody on my page, except a couple people like Aunt Shirley, are witches, or magicians, magical practitioners, workers, poleros, that kind of thing. And witchcraft is the norm in my little world. There are a few exceptions. I have a couple family members out there. I think there's somebody I met in a GTA game a long time ago that's in my friends list. But other than that, if you're in there, probably for one of those reasons, you're probably doing some Ouija stuff. Video sound is really low. All right, I'll try and get a little closer. See, I'm doing it on my phone. I'm thinking I'm going to use the microphone on the PC and do it that way in the future. But it's my first time doing it in this format. And it's really loud up here. But this is where I do my best thinking. It's where I do most of my teaching. And it's something about being up above the roar of the city. It just gets my juices flowing, don't you know? Let's see. So I see between Ian, Camdello, Love Mofo, let's see, recommended reading for learning more about the Grigori / watchers. Well, you know, the few authors that I've ever heard do a good write-up on the Grigori, with the exception of the Bible, was Raven Grimassi. Raven Grimassi's early works, Italian witchcraft, hereditary witchcraft, Wiccan mysteries, Wiccan magic. A lot of his books are going to go there, and he did catalog older magics that most people don't talk about. I recently saw somebody who was posted a sigil glyphy kind of thing. They were trying to figure out what it was. And it was it's an old type of sigil that depicts the movements of the stars and planets in a constellation. And if I'd have known I was going to talk about that, I'd have a graphic example. One of the only people that I've seen right there to do it justice is the early works of Raven Grimassi, Italian witchcraft for one. His first works were the books of ways, were self-published on a Xerox machine, which, thanks to Marta, I now know how to correctly spell. I forgot it. There's an X first. And it's been so long since I've seen a Xerox machine, because now we just have copy machines. But that was the copy machine. So it was done on a Xerox machine, a one-sided Xerox machine, because that was the technology of the time. Self-published, just with Raven. And it wasn't confused with a million other Ravens out there in the world. But all the way back then, he had that same work. Pretty much the Books of Ways, Volume 1 and 2, were Italian witchcraft, which was previously called Ways of Strega before that. But basically, the material from those two books became the material for Italian witchcraft. He spent the first several books not actually writing anything new. It was a while before Grimassi wrote anything new. He just rewrote what most people had never seen from him, except for people like me. But the Grigori, there are, even in my own tradition, they do have these stories of gods experimenting on this earth with several life forms before us, and they eventually died off, or one thing happened to another. That this earth was supposed to be the type of school, and that the people sent here were supposed to evolve to a certain spiritual level. Now, the Grigori were the first beings put here, and they evolved rather quickly. And in the old stories, the god in charge, whatever you want to call that god, did not yet have a plan of what to do if any of those creatures evolved to such a high state. The Grigori were put at the four corners of our Earth and attributed to four stars as the gateways between this world and the spirit world. In a lot of European witchcraft, the Grigori are set at the four cardinal points, and those cardinal points refer to those stars around the planet as well. A lot of the old flesh and drama of some of the old ritual, even to the point of gunpowder, which was used in European witchcraft and all other pyrotechnics, were simply to keep the attention of the Grigori. The Grigori, most people are going to know, is the Watchers. And the Watchers, historically, what they say is the Watchers come when they're called, and they leave when they're bored. And what you want to do is keep their attention, because the attention of such ancient beings and their connection to the other world allows the magic to go through and this stuff to happen. Anyways, you just ask me where you can learn more. You just learn some more. But Raven Grimassi. Raven Grimassi has just passed on recently. We're going to be doing a little commemoration for him tomorrow night on Witterson to remember some of his great works. Well, those were good two questions. Had much to say on. Candelo, how long are they? I don't know what we're talking about, but I can only imagine. I don't know. It says, how long are they? I don't know. I must have talked about something being wrong, but it was a ways back when I was still trying to figure out the chat. But you are tuned to Ask Uncle Birch. Hey, Uncle Birch, Heather M. Walker says. Hey, Heather. Is there more, or are you just saying hey? Tyrone, he gets a lot of questions in there. I'm going to answer this first one. Do you carve sigils into your candles? And if so, do you charge up the sigil before you carve it onto the candle? Yes. I'm a fan of after sigilizing the candle and dressing the candle with oil, I like to powder certain appropriate herbs. And in addition to a lot of the other techniques people use for loading candles or dressing candles using herbs, I like to powder it to really fine powder and rub it into the sigil. It makes the sigil much more defined on the candle. It's easier to see. And I don't know, it's just having the herbs ingrained into the sigil and then burning away with the candle seems like an extra amount of juju for me. It's better to use egregores or actual spirits when making mojo bags. I say using actual spirits. Most people say in the realm of mojo bags and hoodoo and stuff, even if you're not specifically attaching a spirit to the mojo bag, it happens. The mojo bag becomes the housing for spirit, and I see some magic specifically putting that spirit in there, and then others it's just kind of assumed that a spirit will go there. A spirit will live in your mojo, and you're going to feed it as such. So yeah, especially egregores, Tyrone, as you probably know, those are thought forms or servitors made for several people to use. So I don't know if there's really been a whole lot of research using egregores and hoodoo together. But I don't think there's anything against that in hoodoo. It wouldn't be traditional hoodoo, but hoodoo tends to have borrowed a lot of things from all over the place. Anyways, but I have not seen a thing like egregores represented there. Right. Good question. So we're doing Ask Uncle Birch on Facebook and on YouTube. As you can see, asking about a magic, probably have some. It's been pretty rare. I can't even remember the ones that I didn't have anything to say on. Let's see. Mary Beth Bouchard, yes, you caught me live on Facebook. I like how it's telling me who's where, because I always get a lot of people on YouTube live, and I'm getting way up there in my friends list on Facebook Live, so I'd rather broadcast to more people than less, you know. What's the point? The whole point, you know, it's for you, but it's for me. It's keeping me on my toes. I don't seem to have gotten rusty, but I took a couple of years off from teaching, and I'm teaching like a crazy madman, and I have a whole new year and a day class coming up May 1st. I'll talk about that later. Let's see. Erika YouTube, made a servitor. Second day of naughty maintenance. Looked at it, felt it. Oh wow. I don't even know how to make it. Maintenance man touched your egregore or servitor. Oh, bad. But servitors are different than your ritual tools, consecrated ritual tools, that kind of thing. Servitor, yours, made to serve you. Servitor can't be tarnished by somebody else touching it. So hopefully you didn't abandon the servitor. I mean, really, servitors should never be just abandoned. You need to absorb them back into the collective consciousness. There's rituals for that. If you leave a servitor out there unfed, a servitor is almost like an artificial spirit. An unfed servitor becomes kind of like an artificial demon. One very attached to you. Should I not do spell work when the moon's way towards? No, I disagree. I think there's some people say there's certain magics, dark, sneaky magics that you do even more so on the void, of course. I don't let the moon's phase hold me back. I try and compensate for that. Let's see. Naming items. Can you explain the importance of naming items such as athanes and how the names give purpose and power? Yeah, that is done. I don't see it as much these days, but I know what you're talking about. Think about Excalibur. Think about the name given the sword and the energy that the name attached to the sword evokes. You see the importance there, right? Yeah. Naming something powerful. Somebody was just asking, I think in your class, I don't know if you're in the student group, Tyrone, on Facebook, but you should be there because your class started a Facebook group, and somebody was asking, what should they look for when we're looking for a ritual sword? And I said, when you hold it up to the sky, you should feel like He-Man. And when you have that feeling, I have the power, that kind of thing, you got the right sword. Let's see. Any advice for nosy people looking at? I probably don't have any advice for that because I'm so out of the broom closet. Yeah. So do you want to ask Uncle Birch if you've already got questions in there? Let other people get some questions in. Try not to ask me a question while I'm answering a question because it confuses the hell out of me. Y'all help me get on my toes. I hate that bell.
What?
I said I hate that bell.
Want me to take it off?
No, I'm gonna filter the bell. Hold on, people. Forget about that. Somehow that bell's still going to get some sound. Makes no sense, but it's happening there. So, I'm planning on ordering oil soon. Freighter said you make a mean brewer. Yes, Erika. And let me tell you, if you're not my customer, you haven't ordered from me, let me tell you something, because I apparently haven't made this clear enough on my page. Because I have to explain somewhere. I'm not getting this clear into the world. All orders made at the Grove are made by these hands. I trust nobody with that anymore. It was different back when I had a brick and mortar. Back when I had a brick and mortar, I kept things stocked on the shelves. That's how you had to do it. Now I custom make everything, so especially in oil. If you order that, I've got orders in line, so I have to take the orders in the order they were received, and I magically time the brewing of the oil. So it takes longer. So if you ever want to get stuff from Uncle Birch, get it before you need it. That's always good. get it before you need it. Give yourself plenty of time. I think it works better that way. I never liked getting my stuff from an occult clearinghouse. But yeah, Frater's a good friend of mine. Talk to him often. Frater is the reason I'm on Gumroad. So I've been teaching these classes at gumroad.com/witchschool. I have several workshops and all kinds of things, including spiritual warfare, which is a huge seller. I have entire intro courses that you can take my old year in a day course at your speed. You download the entire thing, binge watch it if you want. But a lot of people wanting to take the year in a day courses and take their time. Then I got millennials don't want to take their time. So we've got two options. At gumroad.com/witchschool, which is WITCHSKEWL. And now I've been doing the year in a day courses, and so I'm getting ready to do another one. As soon as the first one started, it was full, and I need to start another one. So you can go to my YouTube channel. Those of you that are already there, you can see a video about that. I'm going to put up another one soon. But you get a hold of me at witchschool@gmail.com, which is again WITCHSKEWL @gmail.com. And that's how we're getting signed up for the class. I'm getting everybody confirmed for their spot in the class, and then April 29th, I'm going to open the class up for everybody to confirm their subscriptions to the class. It'll be a couple days for people to do that. If you want to take an entire year and a day course in witchcraft with your Uncle Birch, and be covering a lot of different stuff than I covered in my old ones. No, it's WITCHSKEWL. But that's a cool spelling too, Etika. SKEWL. Get ready on May 1st. I've got a bunch of other courses up there now. We're going to open it up April 29th. You can see there's still people joining my current course after it's already started. I don't know how I'm going to figure all that out. It's Frater X. You brought him up, the Gumroad, and I've been loving teaching on Gumroad. And the thing I love the most is not having to harass people to pay their bills every month. It was always a pain in the ass, and I never wanted to do that. And it takes away from me answering questions to students all the time. So y'all are helping me get back into this thing. So let's see. Is it okay to drop or reference Uncle Frater X's teachings on the Year in a Day Facebook feed? Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Me and Frater were talking. A few people that knows his actual name. A few people that seen his face. There's still people that somehow confuse me and Frater Xavier. A few people that know who he is. I don't understand how that happens. Me and him just recently got in a fracas with somebody, posting weird videos, including both Frater X and my logo and all this kind of stuff. That Frater Xavier does not show his face. I don't think his voice sounds like mine either. This is it. I show my face. I have no fancy graphics. I'm teaching in a class. I have a pad and Sharpie. I hold it up to the camera. It's ready to look at. This has been my way. Just sitting here talking with people like I'm doing with you. That's the way I do it, and it tends to work for me, and it's what my viewers like. Frater X has a mystery about it. It's a mystery school. His whole thing is mysterious because you can't see his face, and I get that, but I do not get how anybody could confuse us. And a lot of people do. There's like conspiracy theories out there that we're the same guy, and he's just plugging his store. But he actually has his own products. He doesn't plug his products as much as he plugs mine. But that's why I love the guy. All right, so let's see. Okay, I thought that was a quick. Year and day course includes special ops, spiritual warfare. I love friends. That's guess who asked that question?
What question?
It said, will the near, God damn it, just went away. Will the New Year in a Day course include special ops spiritual warfare for high-level threats? One more guess. Starts with a T. Tyrone. That's a good question, Tyrone. And that question is so you, I gotta say. No. No, that would be advanced. I'm teaching here today. I'm going to call it a beginning course. It's a get you toe off the ground course. It's everything that I think, in my experience, that a witch needs to learn in a year and a day to get started. Furthermore, this course, the course you're learning right now, is also teaching professional witchery. I guess that's a bit of an advanced technique, but I'm teaching some stuff how you can get started. Your witchery business, whether psychic readings or witchcraft stuff, or whatever you've got. We're in that world now. We used to be in a world that was impossible for somebody to make their living doing spiritual things. It is not. It is not anymore. And I'm not going to give away all of my secrets, but there's certain things, brewing methods and some business ideas that I'm going to be teaching in your course and in the next course starting May 1st. This will be the year and day course that I teach for the next couple of years. It's going to be that course. And then every time I have people that have taken both courses, and the stuff that I taught in the one that you can just download and binge watch, there's a lot of new stuff. I'm always adding to my bag of tricks too. I'm studying different magics all the time too. There are different magics that I've been studying since the last time I taught the year-to-date course. So more stuff in the course. Good questions. Let's see. Do I have any other? How would you defend against psychic attack that causes you to physically attack others? Whoa! Well, that's pretty. Azorotias. Wow, that's a tough name. Wow, that's a good question. Psychic attack's a psychic attack. How it manifests, I don't even play with. Mom used to say, don't throw a curse at somebody if you wouldn't drive by their house and shoot into their house, not caring who you hit. That's how accurate you can get when you do that thing. It's a pretty volatile thing. If you throw on somebody, it's going to affect everybody in their house. So that's the drive-by shooting things. Like, would you care if you hit their kids? That's going to happen if you throw at them. If they have kids, if they have family, that kind of thing. But psychic attacks, all psychic attacks, be they hoodoo, ceremonial, witchcraft, what have you, fester like an open wound, and they get worse. And the first thing any psychic attack should do is disturb the sleeping patterns of your enemy. And that's what you need to be watching about. In case you're psychic attacked, your sleeping patterns disturbed. You find yourself waking up at 3 in the morning in a panic, in a sweat, wanting to run or fight or physically attack. This happens after just a week of sleep deprivation. We can just disturb your sleep around that critical time of 3 in the morning when REM sleep should be occurring. And those creatures that are not nocturnal, a week of that, we can drive you crazy. And if we can drive you crazy, that's the magic. We don't need spirits to come down and eat you, and demons to feast on your soul. We can make you crazy. You're going to do the damage to your own life, and it could be physically attacking others. It will manifest in all kinds of areas. It's the same thing. Right here, I'm always have some rosemary right here. I'm always have some rue right there. I would be having that in my pillows right about now. I would be checking with my doctor and making sure I don't have any liver problems, and that it would be okay to drink rosemary a couple times a week. I would be brewing me a tea of rosemary and rue, a little pinch of salt, drinking it. lot of people don't think about that. It's like, yes, you're going to also want to take that thing and make it into a bath, pour it over yourself, catch the water that cascades down your body. Throw that water far away from your house. You're going to want to do that thing. You're going to want to be using, protection oils on your third eye, the back of your neck, your temples, over your heart. Maybe dressing your jewelry or protection things. Maybe you should be wearing a chimaruta. All these things, but one of the things that I always see people overlooking is the internal. I want curse removing ingredients flowing through me. I want to be urinating them out. I want them poured down me. I want them inside me. There are times here and there, when I feel some energy around, I'll just come upstairs, I'll eat some root. It's an interesting taste. So I get clean my teeth. Shifting. How am I shifting? There can be some, probably some lag here and there on the signal because I got the laptop doing the chat room. I've got the stream going over my phone, streaming to 2 different places. Yes, Erica, it causes me to self-sabotage. I've woken every night for a week in a week's sweat and hot and bad dreams. Yes, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. And unfortunately, Erica, if it becomes so common, and Wiccans will argue all day long, and that's why they're delusional, it's become one of my specialties. I spend a lot of time removing curses. I spend even more time teaching people how to remove curses, but sometimes, it's so bad they need help and they need to pay somebody that knows their shit to do it. But that kind of thing you're talking about, okay, so it's self-sabotage. Yes, it's going to cause you to make bad decisions. It's going to cause you to go left when you should have gone right. It affects your subconscious. Dropping things. Mom used to say one of the things we look for is breaking glass. I said, well, what if I drop the glass? I said, why did you drop the glass? Have you been dropping a lot of glasses? Because it gets you kind of fumbling and stuff like that. And breaking glass when it's time to look for curses. But one of the other things that I'll look for in a curse, especially if I'm looking at a curse like hoodoo curses like to jinx you and stuff sometimes. This is still the way it works. Magic still works the same way. There's just different components. They're still following the same ethereal rules. They're just looked at differently for different people. But one of the things I look for is like, have you had a really bad string of bad luck lasting over a year? That's a red light for me. Bad luck should be a cycle. You should be in it sometimes, out of it other times, unless you're self-sabotaging yourself, unless you're constantly making bad decisions that fuck up your life, and that does not mean that it's not a curse. Those absolutely come from curses. It's just anything you can do to just disturb their sleep. It's all you got to do, and a shitty curse will do that. You don't have to be great at that to throw that. Just a big ball of hate thrown at somebody just festers on them, and if they don't take it off of them, it fucks with them more and more and more and more. And if you just make them insane, they'll fuck their own lives up, and you can just stop throwing on them and be fine. Will you be doing more joint ventures with Hex New Orleans in reference to teaching? Well, fuck, I hope so. I am. That'll probably be the first publisher I float my book to.
Wiser?
Wiser and Warlock Press.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, like I think Warlock. I want to see how it does, but I think Warlock Press has potential.
You have an editor?
I have the best editor. Clown to the right of me. Yes, that's the thing. I suck at spelling. Suck at writing. I'm good with speaking a lot of words, but if I had to spell those words or use those correctly in a sentence, I send it to Marta.
I think you're a really good writer. It's sloppy, and I have to clean it up. But the words are good.
Yes. I'm telling you. You need an editor. Okay, we just covered a story. Was it last week, right? Where
every week.
The somebody on Pathos ran with this story from somewhere else that said that the pagan or the Wiccan community is really upset with Octavio Cortez's anti-Semitic statements.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, the other one, not Cortez. She made the anti-Semitic.
She made that. Oh, you're right. Yeah, God, you're right. See, she edits me here too. If she was just sitting there, most times I would fuck up on this shit, but she got stuff to do too. But at any rate, yeah. So they published a story, and everybody jumped all over the author. It's like, where do you get off making a headline like that represents the entirety of the Wiccan community? But it was with one group, Covenant of the Goddess, that ever floated that idea out there. The majority of the other Wiccans I know did not think they were anti-Semitic remarks. And her excuse was, headlines are hard to write. Yeah, headlines are hard to write. That's why they have fucking editors. You know, my wife, a career newspaper editor, and there's less work for that type of work these days, and that's why newspapers fuck shit up so much, because that shit's important. It's like, yes, headlines are hard to write. That's why it's important. That's why you have professionals. There's writers, there's editors. They're not the same fucking thing. And I've listened to this woman go on and on and on back when she was working, how much shit you had to fix. And how many writers would come to her and say, oh, it's great. I'm glad you didn't have to fix my story, where she really had to red pen the whole fucking thing.
Well, they never read it
and rewrite it.
Yeah.
And they would think they had made no mistakes, but the mistakes were horrific. That's, you know, we talk about this in my witchcraft class. We talk about this in all my classes. All witches, people that are driven to be witches, the ones that are born to be witches, you can become a witch still, but you probably have this too. A pattern recognition system that is beyond the norm. It can be astrology, tarot, astronomy, mathematics, linguistics like Marta. But you have it. Mine's magic. I see a pattern within magic, and it makes it really easy for me to understand any form of magic I come across so far. Knock wood. I understand how magic works, so I can read other obscure forms of magic, and I see the magical pattern and I into it. That's my pattern. It just happens to work out very well in my work. But also, precise speech leads to precise thought. Her pattern, excellent in that work. Were Marta to, well, and she has, make a statement of intent for a spell, would be perfect. There was no way anything in the universe could misinterpret anything said once Marta gets done with language, because she sees language as a pattern on the wall. And there's disruptions in the patterns, breaks in the matrix, and she's very twitchy about that, very OCD, and I defend her. So, you know, they always say you got to be passionate about your work. She's passionate about this. She's very upset when she sees news people misspell things or use the wrong words or just totally fuck up the fucking headline. That's her pattern. It's also really good at math, too. And I think those are a language, too. But there are some people like that, mathematicians, computer programmers. Your pattern recognition system as a computer programmer can be very handy in witchcraft. But all witches I've known, all people driven to pursue this kind of thing no matter what, they have one. And a lot of people's are really common ones, like tarot, divination, astrology, that kind of thing. You see that thing better than a lot of other people. And so, like, I don't. So I understand enough astrology to get the spell done. At some point, I'll have to consult an astrologer. A math question. Just consult Marta again on that one, too. but all of your pattern recognition systems are part of your witch brain. You just need to figure out how to use that within there. It's fixed. Okay, cool. I'm glad it's fixed. Whatever it was. Okay, people are chatting back. Okay, so you can all see each other. I don't know if the YouTube people can see the Facebook people. That'd be really cool. that'd probably be too much to ask.
But you want me to check YouTube?
Yeah. Or Facebook and see the YouTube people. I don't know which one to check.
I see it on Facebook, but not anymore.
All right, so this is the thing. Those of you that have been on my Facebook and YouTube page would see me fuck with this. It's not working in the best possible way, but I did find out how to make it work. And I've got Candelo's attention a couple times while trying to get this thing work. So thank you all for all your help. No, I can't. Okay,
Yeah,
I cannot see YouTube posters. Okay, well, that would be a lot to ask. I don't know if there's an app that can do that. I had a whole secondary app I was playing with just to see the room, but then that didn't work. And trying to use that app, I got alerted by Google about somebody trying to get into my, so I got rid of that app. So I'm gonna be doing it this way. So far, it works pretty well. I don't have a countdown of how long I've been doing this thing, but I can see how many viewers I think.
Yeah, there's no counter.
That's cool. I think I see a thing telling me how many viewers. It tells me I'm on 2 channels. Eventually want to get a thing where I can be on all of my Facebook channels at the same time. Because there are a couple of witchcraft on my channel. I hope this is still entertaining for you. Still tuned in.
It looks like people are still posting.
Yeah, there's Esther Martin. I love candle magic. Yes, I think some of my first books were candle magic, and it's funny because the first book on candle magic that was available to me was using Psalms for candle magic, which is inherently now considered the realm of hoodoo. I look back at that book; it was bordering on hoodoo or conjure. I don't know really where the borderline between those two are. There was a lot of saints and there was a lot of psalms, and it kind of tripped me out back then because I was studying witchcraft and you would see those connections. The first one was really the psalms and angels and stuff. Let's see, I switched to YouTube from Facebook. Facebook was breaking up too much. Oh, that sucks. I do need to figure out a better internet connection here still. Apparently we can't upgrade our current system. I should never have signed up with AT&T. I thought they'd have several packages. We need a bigger package. We've got a lot of bandwidth needs around here. How important is moon phases? Does it have to be followed very strictly? Well, magic follows the path of least resistance. I've always said, no matter what moon phase is happening, I'm going to do what I need to do.
Like if you want to bring wealth.
So if I said that, I always did say, banish past, something away from each other, putting something back in the hole that you took it from. Nature will move its shit, and they know that if you come to them for a cleaning, you'll be back. You can do good work and make a living with your spirituality. You don't have to fuck people over. And if you do that, spirituality, your spirits, your gods, you saw that. You know you did that. Let's see. I belong to several groups, mostly shamanic or dark witchcraft. All right, I might have to go there. So Mary, you use one of the buzzwords. A lot of people write because that's one of my witchcraft. I want you to know everything about the magic that I'm using got to me. I want to know what changes in format it went through before it got to me. Caddis rose, that's what I'm talking about. That's where the word originates. And it's been attached to other similar practices from other cultures around the world. Like we'll say Native American shamanism. I don't think it's right. I don't know. I really don't know if practices sometimes. I know a lot about maybe maybe the healer, the herb doctor within your tradition, that kind of thing. But shaman, it's such a rumors. see if I can shut some. Ooh, that's scary. Maybe I just wanted to more testing out. Talk a bit about the class because I got to get ready for the class. But you're helping me. When you teach witchcraft all over the world and open yourself up to all of the questions these students can possibly come up with, it becomes a full-time job of answering questions all the time. Sometimes you'll see me on news sites. I've not seen any questions and basically.
Now you've been gabbing for long enough. I said, what are you doing here?
We developed a relationship. Before that, the day off she had, came by the shop for all damn day. My coworkers were really pissed off. But so hey, my gab about witchcraft is why I'm sitting right here. All right. So, Facebook and YouTube, I see you in both formats. Okay, to get it working right, I really like being able to talk to the two formats at once. I figured out down my Facebook page. But I'll probably have to pay for some sort of service to do that. But before that, I want to find one that